works good. The other day I experienced something really weird when I went to go ride with the homie, and I'm gonna make a video on it because I haven't seen anything really about that. I tried to look on forums, I tried to look on YouTube videos, and nobody else had this issue. So what happened was I went to pull my clutch and it felt like there was no pressure at all. It was basically like just nothing. And what I thought was that my clutch cable snapped, because that's a normal thing to happen, right? However, that wasn't the case. What happened was my clutch hub bolt actually was backing out of the motor or whatever it plugs into. So my entire clutch assembly was coming out and not creating any pressure on the lever here. So if your motorcycle feels like the clutch cable snapped and you checked your clutch cable and it's still good and pulling, then this video is for you. So today we're gonna be pulling this crankcase apart and showing you guys how to tighten up your clutch hub nut. So step one, if you're like me and you have a stunt cage, obviously we need to take these pucks out. Unscrew in these little bolts that hold them in, thanks to Cox Stunt Parts. Next, we need to crack this bolt loose right here. And what I like to do is get a pair of vice grips and lock it to the pole on the other side, whatever you want to call that rod that goes through, not the bolt, but the rod. Okay, so that holds the rod still. You can come in here and crack that bitch loose and pull that nut off, because you're not gonna need this right now. Now, back at the front of the cage, we gotta come in here, get this nut loose, crack your engine mount bolt loose. Don't forget to catch that nut, because it'll come out. Get your hand in there, feel for the nut, put your finger on it. It's 2024, a lot of people like putting their fingers on nuts. This will be real familiar to some of y'all. And now I need to lay the bike down because I don't want to drain the oil. Now that the bike's laid down, we can pull these fairings the rest of the way off. That'll give us enough room to get to that cover. The last thing before we want to take the cover off, but to make this really easy on ourselves, we're going to create as much slack as we can in the line as possible by loosening up your clutch lever all the way and then loosening up these two bolts. And you'll see why we're gonna do that in a second. Go ahead and get your 8mm, crack these bolts loose. And now you don't have to take this cable all the way out. Since you loosened up all these bolts in your cable already, you can just go ahead and give that a twist, pull this out, and make sure you keep these all in order. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and lean that over the other side of the bike. Now all 10 of those 8mm are loosened up. Go ahead and pull this cover off. Now that we have the cover off, go ahead and loosen up these bolts right here. These 4 Allens. And those are all gonna be 5mm. And it's probably best to cross loosen and cross tighten these. What do I know? I don't know anything about clutches. I'm just putting this back together. Trying to make this one work. All right, now once you get these out, don't worry about them. They're not under any load or anything, so you can just go ahead and pull them out. They're not gonna be hard to put back in. Now you can go ahead and take out all your clutch plates in your clutch basket. And I've already inspected mine, but if you haven't, inspect them and make sure that your wear plates aren't looking too bad or anything. Mine are still looking good, so nothing to worry about there. About this middle ring or this middle rod. All right, guys, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this. I was gonna end the video there and pretend everything's fine, but what happened was I didn't have the specialty tool I needed, which is a clutch holder. So what I did is I stuck one of these tire irons between the outside basket and that gear to keep the gear still. And that worked pretty good. I got it to about 28 foot-pounds. The manual says 98 foot-pounds, which if you know, that's a lot of torque. Once I got to about 28, it started turning the motor over. So even if I had the correct clutch holder tool, I'm not sure if that would even help me keep the motor from turning. So I basically did it as good as I got it as tight as I could get it. And then, you know, just basically put the video in reverse. That's how I put it all back together. I just wanted to give you guys that update instead of lying to you and acting like everything's fine and I got it all perfect. I'd rather just be honest and let you guys know what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and run that the way it is, and I'm gonna go to the lot right now and hopefully make you guys another video. Like always, leave a like if you like this video. Hopefully it helped you guys out. Sorry about ending it early. Like I said, I ran into some issues and I didn't really want to film that because it wasn't the right way to do it. But regardless, hopefully I help somebody out there. And stay tuned for the next one. I'm gonna go ahead to the lot. Later, player.